welcome back into the Black. I'm your host, Heather Cox. Thank you so much for being here. And I just want to give a shout out actually to everybody who's been listening so far. So, I mean, I have listeners in Hawaii, Germany, Delaware, obvi. But I just want to give you guys a shout out real quick because that's freaking dope. So, a little more casual today. It's we're talking about social media, one of your favorite subjects. I know that you want to hear from me. So, we're going to be talking about social media today. So many things about social media. And I know that if you've been watching Into the Black for a minute, I have a lot of short form videos in regards to social media on Into the Black. Before this was a long form video podcast. It actually used to be what I call a short form micro podcast, which basically utilized the short form video feeds to basically tell my story and, showcase this podcast. So, I just wanted to, let y'all know about that as well. So check that out. And yeah, social media, it's going to be awesome. This is going to be such a great conversation. And to kind of tell you guys about more about social media and myself, but also all of the changes that are going on right now. So today's May 1st. Happy May. I am not a millennial that subscribes to that. It's gonna be May. No, thank you. No, ma'am. Justin Timberlake is forever banned in my brain. I was never a lover of the boy bands. So yeah, it's May 1st. Welcome to it. And there have been so many things going on in social media right now. I mean, the number one thing is the ban on TikTok. I believe they had 280 days. I'm not exactly sure how many days in we are right now, but I know it's less than 280 days. And I know that this is going to be a fight. They're not just going to go quietly into the night. I can foresee lots of court cases. Also, some free speech court cases, I think may fall into place as well. Because, a lot of people do see it as a, suppression of free speech. And I do completely understand the security issues. And I will bring up one thing, and I want people to drop a comment or I've been thinking about this, and this is actually a shower thought, because my phone constantly runs out of space. Constantly, because I'm doing stuff for my clients. I'm literally legit recording this podcast on my iPhone right now because speed of implementation, literally, I mean, CapCut with their editing tools is so much easier to navigate on the iPhone, on the phone, period. I use the browser desktop, but also the desktop software itself. And we need to talk about that as well, the whole CapCut thing. But, I noticed that TikTok has a very large storage footprint. And I've always found that really interesting because, and I thought, I was like, maybe it's all the drafts that I have. And I went over and I deleted all my drafts because I'm never going to post those. And so I deleted them all, and it literally maybe saved me 1 gigabyte. But like that app is like 74 gigabytes, which makes me a little like weirded out because I'm like, okay, Facebook, it doesn't even like my Facebook literally, and I'm on Facebook legit every day, like toggling back and forth in between pages, fixing things, posting, whatever. And it is not taking up that much storage. So I just think like, why? Why is TikTok such a large app in regards to the storage? And same with Instagram. Instagram isn't that big. So you can't say that it's like, oh, it's their editing software in there. Instagram also has the same editing software. Same with Facebook. Facebook has Reels. You can edit in Reels, all that stuff directly in the Facebook app. There is no reason for TikTok app to be that big, to take up that much storage. Because every day I see it at the top of my list on the storage. And I'm like, do I want to delete it today? Because that would save me so much freaking storage. And yes, I do pay for the extra storage. I'm literally legit thinking about getting an extra phone at this point. Just because I want to separate out my business and my personal, but also I just need some more freaking storage. But you know, the whole TikTok ban thing is really interesting. And I kind of foresaw, I mean, like everybody was like, oh yeah, like it's not gonna happen. But when UMG, Universal Music Group, pulled their music from TikTok, I was like, this is very interesting. Why are they doing that? Why? And furthermore, they had just penned a new deal with Facebook in regards to their music rights, literally around the same time. So I just thought that was really interesting. And then, you know, once after the music got pulled from TikTok, then boom, you know, we're talking about a TikTok ban. So I just really feel like it's really interesting right now for social media. But with the TikTok ban also comes like a void. TikTok is going to leave a void. They're going to leave space. And that's an opportunity for growth and for innovation and change to really come in to play. And you could be the one, you know what I mean? I know there's Clapper. I think that's what it is, Clapper. Which is a lot of people are going over to there. There's a lot of organic reach over there. You know how like what it was back in the day, like Facebook. Everybody talks about the heyday of Facebook and the organic reach you used to get by posting about your lunch. Um, but yeah, so there's a lot of interesting things going on right now with social media. And I wanted to point out another thing that just came out. Instagram, the creator program just posted, and I think like the CEO or whatever, he had just posted that it's a new age for new creators and that they're going to push your reel out to and your post, I'm not sure if it's post or reel or both, but they're going to push your content out to people who don't usually see your stuff. And then if it gets like a certain amount of likes or a certain amount of engagement within a certain amount of minutes, then it'll push out to a different group. And when I read that, I was like, TikTok algorithm, is that you? Because I was like, holy shit, dude. Like, literally, like, that is legit how it worked over on TikTok. Granted, nobody really understands algorithms at all because the only people who understand them are the ones who built them. So don't let anybody tell you that they can hack the algorithm or beat the algorithm because, again, there is no such freaking thing. I'm going to scream it from the freaking rooftops. But so when that news came out about Instagram, I just thought that was really interesting because they're trying to fill the void. They're trying to be like, okay, well, guess what, guys? Like we might be a little like TikTok now. We may have shifted our algorithm a little bit. So just think about how this shift in social media with the loss of TikTok, RIP, not yet, but close, how that's going to change the social media landscape because it changes all the time, constantly. I mean, there is even rumblings of Vine coming back. Elon Musk had a post the other day about Twitter. Huh? Question mark? Meh? Yes? No? Put a poll? Like, come on. Yes, Twitter owns the rights to Vine, which is hilarious to me. I wouldn't be mad if they brought back Vine, but you know it's not going to be the same. It is not going to be the same. So yeah, lots of interesting things happening right now with, and you know, you got to think about it because when TikTok came on the scene and really like became, because it was Musical.ly first, right? But when it really became like mainstream, it changed how we viewed social media completely. It changed how we used social media, especially with the short form vertical video. That it literally introduced short form vertical video. And then Facebook and Instagram. I remember even I think Twitter, X, they did stories. And then LinkedIn tried stories as well. They were trying to copy off of Facebook and Instagram and that wasn't really taking off, so they like axed that idea. But then when TikTok came out, Facebook was like, "Ooh." Instagram was like, "Ooh. Let's do some vertical video. Let's copy them." And it's just how it is. Everybody be copying everybody. Mm-mm. Like case in point, there is a new app. It is called No Space. And it's basically like a MySpace. We've come full circle, my friends. Maybe it'll create another generation of coders like myself because that's how I got started on MySpace. MySpace was the jam. I miss you, Tom. Call me. Let's hang out. Top 8. But that's how I got started, especially with HTML coding. Because, I mean, like, so I've been a WordPress website designer and social media manager and strategist for almost 15 years. And I taught myself how to basically code. using MySpace because I would use coding to add the music and change the colors and and I'll add all the glittery shit, you know. That was fun times. But, you know, that kind of like propelled me to the next thing. And so when, you know, I started creating WordPress website designs, I was like, I could do this shit. It's like HTML coding. So I really leaned into the CSS, the HTML, the short coding, all that fun jazz over on WordPress. And then it kind of just snowballed over to, okay, let's do a little bit of social media because it all really is connected. It's all a digital web, right? I think I've discussed this on my previous episodes of Into the Black, the micro podcast version. We talked about the web. We talked about that digital web. And we talked about, you know, taking a step back, that bird's eye view, right? Because you can get that bug's eye view, that really like, really close up. And we really like doing a bug's eye view on data sometimes, right? We really like to get really granular. And especially with our like demographics and who we're talking to and our audience, we really, really want to get niche down on that. But if you're thinking about like overall strategy, with your social media and your digital presence, you got to take that step back and you got to look at it from a bird's eye view because you have your, you know, your digital products over here, your newsletter over here, your SMS over here, your WordPress website over here. It should be WordPress. It may be Wix or Squarespace. I'm not hating. I'm just saying it should be WordPress. And then you have your digital, you know, your social media profiles over here. And you got to make sure that they are all cohesive because the rising tide lifts all ships, right? And especially, and if they're not all connected, you're screwed. That tide is not going to lift jack shit because nothing's connected. Your website's not pointing to your social media. Your social media is not pointing to your website. Your website doesn't have its newsletter attached. Your newsletter does not have the website in the footer. There are so many things that you could be doing to interconnect them all. And we could talk about social media search engine optimization, but I'll make that a whole other episode because you know, if y'all been listening to me, you know that social media search engine optimization and search engine optimization is my jam. And I have been doing that since the jump. And I really don't think, see, I could just go right now. I could be like, I don't know. People don't understand. And like, like, no, we're going to save that for an individual episode of Into the Black. We are going to go granular, super bug's eye view on some SEO and SMO tactics, right? Even maybe some podcast SEO tactics, because not a lot of people know that you can actually SEO a podcast. What? Mic drop. So you got to remember that. So remember, and it'll be coming out soon. But you got to remember that you got to do that bird's eye view. You got to take a step back when you're doing your social media and your digital landscape. And I've been doing that from the jump. So, you know, 15 years ago when I started Facebook, you needed a .edu email to get up on that bitch because Mark Zuckerberg, how it started was he created a website that was basically the new hotornot.com. And hotornot.com for all you youngins and out there. Basically, it was a website that rated girls and I think men, but I think it was just a lot of girls because I remember being on that bitch in high school. I had people rating me, hotornot.com. Get the F out of here. Oh my God. So then Mark Zuckerberg was like, oh yeah, let's make Facebook.com and we'll make it like, you know, a ranking system for the Harvard women of Harvard. Okay. Thanks, bro. What a great use of that tech, bro. Jesus. So that's how Facebook started. And that's how I was on MySpace. I started WordPress and I was like, man, what's this Facebook? Let's check this out. So then I got on with and by the way, let me just say thank you, University of Delaware. It was either UD or Del Tech, but I still had an email address associated with one of those colleges that I went to. And if you go back to, I think it's episode 2, I'm talking about education, and that's my education journey on episode 2 of Into the Black. But those 2 email addresses, I think one of them was still active, and that's how I got on Facebook, because you needed a .edu to get on there because only college students were allowed on that platform at the start. So then it's like, okay, like, all right, we got Facebook. We're trying to get that going. WordPress, like Word, like this is so cool. So like, and just watching the iterations of different social media come in and out is kind of crazy. And then when people flip out, I'm sorry. I laugh. I know. I'm sorry. It's horrible. I'm sorry. Everybody, I am sorry for the millions of followers you are about to lose over on TikTok because you did not believe in omnipresence. I'm sorry that you put all your eggs in one basket. I'm sorry. I wish you didn't do that. I wish you luck. But omnipresence and omni-channel omnipresence is really is gonna help you throughout social media. And the reason why I say this is because social media platforms come and go. Vine, MySpace, Twitter, which is now X, which is like a graveyard. I mean, granted, I'm on Twitter and I have clients on Twitter, but like, okay, it's X, Zitter, whatever we want to call it, Zitter. But you know, these platforms come and go. And you really need to be prepared for when they pull the rug out from under you. And that's why I always, always, always preach omnipresence. You need to be omni-channel. You need to have your business, yourself across all platforms. And I know that is bonkers to hear, but we do not own this space. This is social media. That we do not own our data. We do not own the space. We are products. We are the product. Our data is the product, and they are selling our data. And that is the moral conundrum of my job. I have always had this problem. I will always continue to have this problem, is the moral issue around social media. Because it really does allow people to be their worst. It also allows people to be their best. I will say, yes, 100%. But it really depends on who you are. There are people out there like myself who are trying to make the internet a better place. But then there are also people out there who are trying to make it a shit show. I mean, come on. All the people who literally tried to break ChatGPT. Those are the people who are making life shitty. This is why we cannot have nice things, because MFers breaking it and trying to break it. Let's just try to break it. Yeah. No, can't we have something nice for once, please? Don't break it. Don't make my ChatGPT try to blow the world up, please. Like, just stop. Please stop. So, you know, there are people out there who are trying to make the internet and social media better for all of us. And it sucks that only a select few own all the things. Elon with Twitter and Zuckerberg with Facebook and Instagram and WhatsApp. You know, those are the three. And then Google, whoever the freak owns Google, right? It seems like there's a few people at the top that are kind of in charge of all of social media, and I don't think that's the way it should be. I am of the thought of a decentralized social media platform where your social media content, you have the choice of it living there, or you can delete it after, sure, but the metadata does not continue to stay there. That information is not sold. That information is not owned by anybody. It is like blockchain decentralized social media. Oh God, what is the one that is the competitor to Zitter, Twitter? Mammoth? Something with a elephant. Something along those lines. But they are decentralized. I'll have to find it. Here, I'll put the thing when I find it. Bing! This is the one I was talking to you about. But you know, I really do believe that social media is great for, and it's so good for so many things. But then it is also just really tiresome and makes people burnt out and makes us all believe that we all need to be sharing everything about ourselves and every moment at every time. Social media is a crazy place. And like I said, I've been doing it for almost 15 years. And so, you know, that the biggest moral conundrum that I have is am I contributing to the problem? Because I am a social media manager and strategist. Am I contributing to the problem, or am I making this place better? Am I making social media better? That's always my issue. And that's why I like to stick to the fun things of social media. I don't like to talk about the polarizing things. I don't like to talk about the shitty things. I don't like to talk about the negative things. I already have a negative self view of myself. I don't need more negative shit on my freaking feed. And that's why, like, I feel as though that a lot of people get into this trap of social media of like doom scrolling. They search out the things that they don't like. They search out the things, or their algorithm is feeding them stuff because they've trained the algorithm to only watch the trash, the bullshit, you know, the public fights and people getting arrested and car chases and unboxing of toys and just the trash. And look, let me tell you, I love some good trash TV. Vanderpump Rules, The Valley. Like, I'm sorry. I can't. That's like my escape. That's my release. Like, I am on social media all freaking day long because that's what I do. And that's what I've been doing for 15 years. And I like a little bit of an escape. And everybody deserves a little bit of an escape. But when it becomes a habit, that's the problem. And doom scrolling has become a problem. And so, I've tried to really like, okay, I'm not going to do this doom scrolling. I'm going to educate myself. I'm going to educate scrolling. I don't even know how would you say that, edutainment, but then like sometimes the edutainment can just be shitty too. So like really just like the actual learning. I've learned so much over on TikTok, and I think that's what I'm going to miss most about it. Like I really do. I'm really going to miss TikTok because it really has helped me learn a lot about myself. I learn a lot of coping mechanisms over there. I learn a lot of mental health. I learn a lot of social media stuff. I learn a lot about ChatGPT. There's so much information over there. I also learn how to cook some things. I learn how to make bread. Ooh, I learned how to make those like really yummy, viral like turnovers with the pastry. So like you would put like mushroom and like mozzarella cheese and maybe some like arugula, and then you would cover it with your puff pastry and then poke it with forks, and then you cover it with a little bit of egg wash, and then you put it in the oven and for like 15 minutes at 375 400, and then boom, you got some yummy mushroom like a little pizza. I learned how to do that shit because of TikTok. Like I've learned so much. And I think people get social media wrong. Yes, we're here to be like educated or entertained. But like people, I think really need to take a step back and realize that, yeah, there is social media addiction and people are addicted to the doom scroll. People are addicted to checking out because, I mean, life's freaking hard right now. Let me tell you, life's really hard. And that's why a lot of people do get addicted to doom scrolling. And I wish social media was going in a different direction. And maybe with the banning of TikTok, social media will go in a different direction. And I know that's shitty to say because I love TikTok too. TikTok helped me so much through my like struggles and has taught me so much, and I've shared so much, and I've taught you all so much on TikTok with social media and AI and being a mom and a business owner. TikTok helped me through the pandemic. I mean, like there were so many things that TikTok was here for, but then at the same time I have seen no growth. It's not myself in like, oh, I don't see my followers growing. Wah. No, I'm talking about like growth in the social media sector. It's kind of been just this like back and forth rivalry between Meta and TikTok, and then like a shit show over there with, Twitter, and then, Pinterest just be vibing. Like it's nothing is really like, oh my God. Like the last time that something was like, oh my God, I can't believe what? Like something was just like, holy shit, that's so cool. Like that is such a cool thing for social media, not AI, was Clubhouse. Clubhouse changed the freaking game, in my opinion, because you needed to have your voice to talk to people at length. And if you were full of shit and you didn't know what the F you were talking about, we sniffed that out. Shout out to my Clubhouse peeps. I know y'all out there. I do miss Clubhouse. And you know what? Clubhouse still be popping sometimes. like those real estate rooms in the morning. I think it's like, I know it's like real estate Mondays. There's like a marketing Monday. The other day I was in there was like 110 people just chilling, listening. It was crazy. And I think that's great because it's like there's still that community over there. At least there's a little bit of business community over there. It used to be freaking fly. It used to be so great. So many connections, so many networks. Like I was just the upcoming episode of Into the Black is actually going to be with Alicia Cooper. And I actually connected with Alicia Cooper on Clubhouse. That is how powerful that audio app was. And it was just an audio app. And you'll actually see now within other apps that other apps have adopted that type of software, like that type of capability within their platform. So LinkedIn, every Thursday at 11 a.m. EST, I am on LinkedIn with Jane Clark for my LinkedIn audio only room called Dark Mode. And we are talking about so many different topics under the sun. And we really go granular. We talk about the news. We talk about what's going on with us. We also talk about tips and tricks on that topic. So tomorrow, actually, this won't be out. So this drops this week on 8 p.m. on Sunday. But this past week on Thursday, we're talking about guerrilla groundwork, which is guerrilla marketing. I mean, I love guerrilla marketing, and that's like boots on the ground, bootstrap, like legit, like local marketing, like putting business cards on people's windshields and putting business cards on bulletin boards and doing like guerrilla marketing campaigns, like flash mobs and shit. Like that is the type of stuff we're going to be talking about. But the LinkedIn audio pulled that directly from Clubhouse. And that was the last time something cool as shit happened with social media was Clubhouse. And now it's kind of like, well, shit, what now? The new app, the no space, is it going to be Vine? Are we still going to have TikTok, but with guardrails and gutter bumpers or whatever the frick? I don't know. But I'm waiting. I'm waiting for something. And I've been waiting. It's been a good couple years where I've been like, okay, like where's this going? So, again, I've been in social media for almost 15 years. I have worked with, I think, over 100 companies at this point. I could go through my client list. The other day I was scrolling. I was like, oh my gosh, because like I keep I've been keeping invoices since 2010 because I just like to see. I've worked with so many people from Red Mango, Froyo, to Loudmouth Golf Radio, to Bacon Pants. That was so much fun. Oh my gosh. I work with Chesapeake Inn right now. I work with Realcom. Like there's just so many different companies I've worked with over the years. And from coaching to management to WordPress to SEO to SMO to graphic design to video content creation to going on location and getting content. It's a lot. And I've been doing it for a very long time, and I'm very surprised I am not burnt out. I mean, I think I've gone through phases of burnout. Obviously, I think you can tell by the social media. It's all like, because we're social media managers. We don't want to come home and cook, right? We're not, I don't want to be a chef, right? Chefs cook all day. Then they come home and they got to cook again for themselves. Absolutely not. Can I just DoorDash? Please. Can I DoorDash my social media strategy? For myself, not my clients, for myself. So yeah, I mean, again, I've been doing this for so long and I've dropped so many freaking tips, over the years. And I know there are a few tips that I wanted to talk about, because I know everybody is always looking for some social media tips. I mean, constantly. And I might make this like a multiple part series because I have so much information to give in regards to social media. So I'm going to call this one Into the Black Social Media Part 1, and we'll see how many parts that we can get up to, because again, social media is like a living, breathing thing. It doesn't stop. It doesn't sleep. It awakens, and some of them die, some of them live, some of them are reborn, and like it's just a constant going, and it doesn't stop. And that's why I've had a job for so freaking long. I don't think I've had a job this long ever in my life. Oh my God, killing me. So yeah, and I mean, like I said, we talked about the TikTok ban, we talked about the changes, the news with Instagram, my experience, but also we're going to talk about a little bit of some business tips here. And if you're just getting started in social media, we'll start like real low level. Number one, username consistency. Oh my gosh, please, guys, I know it's hard. You really want it to be like you have to do your research, right? So like if my business, if Heather Cox Codes, that username was not available, my business name would not be Heather Cox Codes. It would probably be something different. If Into the Black was not available, I probably would have done something else. Literally, I was doing research on a podcast and like on the different podcast names, and I was like this close to not using this name because somebody has In the Black. There are like think like 2 or 3 podcasts that are called In the Black. I wanted mine to be different, so Into the Black. So you just got to think about that username consistency. You got to look for that username. Like, okay, if that's available, cool. If it's not, that's fine. But you got to like tweak a little bit. No underscores, no dashes, no dots, but think about I could have done like the Heather Cox Codes or a Heather Cox Codes or Heather Cox Code or, whatever. You just got to tweak it a little bit. But that username consistency, you got to keep it across all platforms. I swear to God, y'all would not even know how to find me if it was like Heather Cox Codes on Instagram and then Heather Cox Creates over on Facebook and then Heather Cox, I don't know, cusses on Twitter. Like y'all would have been like, or is this the same chick? So you really got to think about username consistency because that's going to help people find you, especially when social media platforms bite the dust like Vine and TikTok. So you got to think about that so that other people can find you. Username consistency. That is, I think, the top tip here for social media because that is going to help you get started. Also, consistent branding across it all. You guys will not go to my website at heathercoxcodes.com and see a hot pink website. Absolutely not. That is not me. You guys will not see that. That is consistent branding. So it needs to be you will see this headshot on Instagram, you'll see this headshot on Facebook, on Zitter, on TikTok, on YouTube, not on Pinterest yet. I got to change that. Do not go look at Pinterest right now. I'm behind on the Pinterest, but it is optimized. If you can't, that's my tip number. Well, no. So tip number 1 is username consistency. Tip number 2 is brand consistency across all your digital products. And then number 3 is to make sure that you optimize everything. Even if you're not like constantly there, at least it's optimized. You know what I mean? Like we don't want to be like, oh, okay, well, yeah, I'm using this account, but I don't have my recent headshot on there and I don't have a recent banner and it's from like 10 years ago. Just optimize it at least. Make sure it's up to date. Jeez. Tip number 4, social media profiles on your website and make sure they work. I don't know how many times I've gone to a Wix website or a Squarespace website or anybody's website, to be honest with you, while I'm doing an audit. That's the first thing I check. Their social media buttons working? All right, let me go check this. Oh gosh. Well, look at that. I just clicked that Instagram button that should go to yours, but it's going to Wix Instagram. And I think that's how they get people, actually, if you think about it, because that is like SEO optimization for them. They want your Wix website to be pointing to their Wix Instagram. Why not? So check it out. Optimize your shit. Audit your shit. Make sure it actually works. Make sure that Facebook is pointed to the right Facebook page. Make sure your links are not broken. Those are, I think, the top 4. Guys, like optimization and cleaning it up. Tighten it up. Tighten the brand up. Tighten the social media up. Because then people will start to take you seriously and the algorithms will start to take you seriously and the search engines will start to take you seriously. Because guess what? You have username consistency. You have branding consistency. You've optimized everything. And your social media buttons are on your website. That is all related to SEO and SMO, which is social media search engine optimization. Again, these are the tips because the creativity is coupled with the tech. I'm sorry to break it to y'all, but the creativity is directly related to how your performance is going to be. Because if you are posting something beautiful, something beautifully created with no caption, no hashtags, no location, nothing, Nobody's going to see your stuff. We may see it on the platform, but we won't see it past the platform. So I think that's the top takeaway for today is like literally optimize the shit out of your socials and be creative about it. Because you know what? I mean, maybe it's me, maybe I'm training my algorithm, but I have been seeing a lot more art, creativity, uniqueness over on Instagram. And I think that's because these new creators are getting pushed out. So new creators, listen up, start posting. I'm told you there is going to be this disruption because of TikTok is going away. There is going to be this disruption. We need a good pattern interrupt here on social media because y'all, it has become stagnant. So buckle up, Buttercup, because it is happening. And I am stoked just how like ChatGPT and AI disrupted the industry. This TikTok ban is also going to disrupt the industry and it's going to bring about some really interesting changes. And I really hope they're actually good changes because, you know, I talk about social media for business, but I really don't like talking and using social media for personal, to be honest with you. I've never had that thought process of like, oh yeah, let's talk about my personal life here. Let's just tell everybody what the F I'm doing. Yeah, sure. More shit for people to talk about me. Sure, why not? But like, I don't know. It's just ever since I just don't think it is wise to post your personal life necessarily all over social media. My business life is fine. Every time people come here to record this podcast, do you know how floored they are about my life? That I have two dogs, a cat, two birds, bees, 3 children. I'm a mom. Like I have a hammock living in like hanging in my living room, like from the ceiling. Like people are so surprised when they walk into my house and they're just like, "What?" Like I have no this is insane. Like people are like I had no clue. I'm like, "Well, that's the point." Because not everybody gets access to my life. And that goes for social media as well. And that includes my kids. And that's why y'all never see my kids on social media. Hardly ever. You'll see the back of their heads or you will see them in their Halloween costumes because their faces are covered. Because I myself am the victim of possible grooming as a young kid on social media, even before really social media was a thing. MySpace, AOL chats, AOL AIM, and also Pogo.com, and the gaming chats, right? Like, there was a guy, I think I was like 13. I think he was 18. And for a very long time, for 2 to 3 years, he constantly talked to me. And I thought it was okay. You know what I mean? But like he literally wanted me to move to Canada and live with him and be his girlfriend. Dude, I was fucking 15. I was 13 when we met. I was 15 by that point. We were like emailing off of the platform at that point. What's up, Jeremy? So like I see the dangers. I myself have been a victim of those dangers. I have been a victim of seeing things on the internet that I probably shouldn't have seen at this age of 6, like 6th grade. You know what I mean? So that's why I'm really, really like I safeguard my kids. I don't put my kids on social media. I don't share my personal life because you never freaking know. You never know. And that's why and a lot of parents don't understand that. And there are a lot of adults who are exploiting kids on social media. And I think that's another reason why I'm kind of happy TikTok is going away. I know, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I love you, TikTok. But like the monetization over there and the ability for monetization of minors and that content is really bugging me out. Parent run accounts on social media bug me out. Like you should not be exploiting your kid like that. You should not be putting your child on social media. Even I don't give a shit if it's a parent run account. Why don't you go check your followers? I'll wait. No, literally, go check your fucking followers because I'll fucking wait. It is really gross. All you parent run accounts with your child models and your child influencers, y'all really need to like get it together. And it really makes me sad because, there's that whole thing about that woman with her influencer account with her kids and her family that was literally torturing her kids and nobody freaking knew. So, like, I love social media for the positive and the benefits of business and how it's helped me grow and help me have a voice. But it also is a shit place and there needs to be safeguards and there needs to be regulation around the use of minors and content. I don't care what y'all say. Y'all can at me in the freaking comments. Come at me. I don't give a shit. But as somebody who has literally been stalked online as an adult and also tried to be groomed as a younger individual, as a minor, I understand these problems and things and things do need to be done about it. And so I myself am trying to do something about it. And one of those things is a book I'm writing. It is for parents. It is for parents to really understand the landscape of the internet and to help safeguard our children online through the use of parental controls, also blocking apps, also learning how browsers work, also understanding crypto and artificial intelligence like ChatGPT, understanding games like Minecraft and Roblox, understanding what servers are for Minecraft, Xbox games, PS5 games, tablets, iPhones, Androids. Like, literally, this book has so much shit in it. It's bonkers. There's checklists, there's how-tos, there's so much information to help parents on this book. And I'm almost done. It has just been such a slow grind because we got to check all the things, make sure. I'm probably going to have to take out the section on TikTok because TikTok's going to be banned, but I mean, I might keep it in because it might not, but anyway. But then also I'm putting this out into the ether because, like, if I say it's going to happen, it's going to happen. I'm a manifester. That's what's going to happen. Generator manifester. Thank you, human design. But I'm hopefully, and I'm starting to write a bill. I am getting a lot of help in regards to that, and writing a bill for my state, in regards to safeguarding kids and making sure that parents cannot exploit their kids through the use of using their kids for content. Also making it, not okay to post minor kids without appropriate clothing. So I don't know what is with y'all parents and posting your naked freaking kids in the bathtub. Knock it off. Knock it off. And you putting those little heart icons or like deleting it on like your phone. Hi, there's apps that actually fix it. So, and then if you think about AI, think about that. Okay. So, again, there needs to be safeguards. And this is, like, again, the double-edged sword. My conundrum on this social media has been this for a very, very long time. So, again, this is not the end of this part. I might have a part 2, a part 3, a part 4, because, again, social media is a constantly evolving and changing entity that we do need to pay attention to, and that we also, as individuals who use social media, we should be shaping it and molding it and creating a safer space for all of us so that we cannot let hate speech and stalking and negativity permeate and take over social media. We, as human beings, as users of social media, are the ones who should be crafting it and should be molding it to what it is, and not these big companies and corporations. And I think that's why, TikTok might be in a little hot water as well, because that community over there is huge. And I want to leave y'all with this. You are not the app. I want to put that out there. Apps may come and go. Apps will come and go. But us as a society using these apps and elevating our voices and utilizing this technology to come together as a community, as the people, as the people, against the higher corporations that own the data, own the social media platforms, own, essentially our likeness, our photos, our content. We are the ones who make it. We're the ones who make the community. We're the ones who stick together. I understand that a lot of people are really furious and upset about TikTok being banned because of how powerful it is. The Kellogg's ban, or the boycott, the Kellogg's boycott, the Starbucks boycott, the the evolving conversation about the use of minors in content. We are that community. An app, because an app is being shut down, they can't take that. They cannot take our voice. We could just move to another platform. We can gather, we can regroup, we can continue that conversation. You do not need to stop that conversation because an app goes down. And that's why, again, here we go, circling back to the omnipresence. That's why omnipresence is key. So if you are on TikTok and you follow me at Heather Cox Codes, please follow me over on Instagram at Heather Cox Codes. If you don't like Instagram and you're a Facebook chick, follow me over on Facebook on Heather Cox Codes. If you're a zitter on Twitter, follow me on Heather Cox Codes. If you're on Threads, follow me on Heather Cox Codes. I want to connect with my peoples. I want to connect with my community, and I want to continue to have this dialogue about social media and how we as a society can shape it so that it is safe, healthy, effective, and also has safeguards in place to safeguard our mental health. And that's a whole other book. That is a whole other conversation that we can go into about social media, which will probably be a part 3. So everybody, thank you so much for joining me here on Into the Black. I know this was a long episode. You know, I could talk about social media all day long, but thank you so much for being here. And our next episode next Sunday, I think it's the 12th. I'm going to have to double check that. The next episode, which will be right here, bing, that will be with Alicia Cooper on Sunday, 8 p.m. EST. And we are going to talk about so many things, from the mortgage industry to social media to what her favorite purse is to the craziest thing that she's ever found in an investment property, which that is going to blow your mind, because I was literally like, what? So please join us next week for Into the Black.